Well, President Trump is turning up the heat on China yet again, threatening to impose tariffs on all remaining Chinese imports if next month's talks with China's president don't go so well. Rebecca Walser, Walser Wealth Management CEO, and Jonathan Hoenig, Hedge Fund Manager at CapitalistPig.com, join us now to discuss. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
Good
Great
morning.
to be with you.
Jonathan, let me start with you here. These threats of additional tariffs, basically taxing everything that China imports, that's a negotiating tactic to get China to the table, or no?
Well, that's what we were told, Lauren. We've been told that tariffs were a negotiating tactic for months now. But the market, as you pointed out, really sold off yesterday, sold off quite hard, a swing of 900 points right after news of these potential new tariffs broke. And it's because, as you said, these are taxes. These are taxes on Americans. Over $4 billion has been collected from Americans going to the government. And some companies, ranging from Ford to Honda to Caterpillar to Harley-Davidson, have all mentioned specifically these tariffs are costing them money, and they're putting a dent in this stock market without a question.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier, Rebecca, that 43% of stocks in the S&P 500 are now in a bear market, 76% in correction territory. As Jonathan noted, so many companies are warning that this potential trade war is hurting us, or at least we fear that it will hurt us in the form of rising costs. Do you think the president is listening to any of that?
I think that President Trump wants a successful economy more than probably anything else, except for maybe the caravan. But the truth is, we are always going to have some short-term reverberations globally in the United States and certainly in China in order to correct any kind of mistrade policy that we might have had for the last dozens of years. We treat China sometimes like a third world country in some of our trade policies. And I think President Trump is being very clear that this needs to change. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, the Bloomberg report yesterday did swing the market. Absolutely, Jonathan's right. But at the same time, I think President Trump is trying to negotiate from a position of strength, reminding the Chinese that we still have more room to go if we need to.
Well, that Bloomberg report certainly hit the market hard yesterday, but futures are higher this morning. Jonathan, do you think it was maybe an overreaction yesterday and now cooler heads are prevailing?
Well, Lauren, we know that, a lot of factors impacting the market, threats about tariffs, also questions about earnings, slowing growth, and the FANGs, was mentioned just a moment ago. The influence of these technology stocks, I don't think can be underestimated. The fact that Facebook, earnings coming out momentarily, hit a 52-week low yesterday, and weakness in Amazon, weakness in all these names that have really buoyed the market for years now. To me, that says that this trend, although it's been a horrific October, I don't think we've reached a bottom just yet.
Yeah, and well, that's what a lot of people are questioning. Where is the bottom? Does this correction become a bear market, become a recession? What are your thoughts on that, Rebecca?
Oh, gosh, I hope not. I'm not ready for it. I mean, I've been projecting it for 18 months, but I'm not ready. No one's ever ready, right? We're always thinking that this is just a blip, and I'm hoping that it's a blip. Obviously, one thing I want to mention about Amazon is, and I noticed that they didn't want to quantify the effect of the 15-hour minimum wage that goes into effect November the 1st, but it is now reflected in their Q4 earnings. So we do have to take into effect, there's always this talk of let's have, higher minimum wages and let's do all these wonderful things with our company. These are for-profit companies, and these actions do have an impact. So that is one thing that I think that people aren't talking about is, that kind of policy has an effect on the bottom line. And that's what we're seeing is Q4 is not looking good, and that's why the peak earnings concerns, and obviously we're worried. But I'm going to say it's a blip for now. I'm not ready to say it's the correction yet. No.
All right. Well, yeah, the minimum wage is another form of inflation, as we've been discussing, how that hits the markets. Rebecca, Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you.